Watchers, I'm Professor Punzworth, your guide to the wild, wacky, and wonderfully curious world around us. And today, we're talking about something hotter than a pancake on a parking lot. Heat waves. Have you noticed it's been really hot lately? And not just in your town. We're talking record-breaking heat all over the world. So, what's going on with the weather? Why are so many places getting so hot? And what does it mean for the people who live there? First things first, what is a heat wave? It's not just a super hot day. It's several days in a row when the temperature is much higher than usual for that time of year. For example, if a city usually hits 85 degrees Fahrenheit in June, but suddenly it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit for a whole week, that's not just hot. That's a heat wave-orama. And right now, places all over the world are heating up like toast. Phoenix, Arizona just had several days over 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hotter than a dragon's sneeze. But here's the wild part. Cities actually make heat waves worse. It's called the urban heat island effect. That's when buildings, roads, and sidewalks soak up heat from the sun and don't cool down at night. All that concrete holds in the heat like a giant oven. And unlike forests or parks, cities don't have much shade or grass to cool things down. So during a heat wave, a big city can be up to 10 degrees hotter than nearby countryside. That's not just uncomfortable, it can be dangerous. Extreme heat can lead to power outages, make people sick, and even be deadly, especially for the elderly or folks without air conditioning. So why are heat waves happening more often now? The short answer, climate change. Earth's temperature has been rising, mostly because of pollution from cars, factories, and burning fossil fuels. That traps heat in our atmosphere like a giant invisible blanket. Now, that doesn't mean every hot day is climate change, but scientists say heat waves are getting longer, stronger, and more frequent because the whole planet is warming. It's like turning up the dial on summer and then breaking the dial right off. Governments and cities are trying to help people stay safe. Some open cooling centers, air-conditioned buildings like libraries or schools where people can rest and stay cool. Others give out fans, water, or check on elderly neighbors. Even public pools and splash pads become part of the plan. Some cities are also working to cool things down before the next big heat wave hits. They're planting more trees, painting rooftops white to reflect the sun, and building green roofs with plants on top. Pretty cool, huh? Even the way we build cities is starting to change. More shade, more parks, and better ways to cool down public spaces. Because no one wants a sidewalk that feels like lava. And what can you do? Well, for starters, stay hydrated. Drink water, not soda. Wear a hat, stick to the shade, and never leave pets or people in a parked car. And don't forget sunscreen, unless you want to turn into a tomato. All right, time for a quick recap. Heat waves are long stretches of super hot weather, and they're getting more common around the world. Cities make them worse because of all the concrete and buildings. Climate change is turning up the heat even more. But we're not helpless. People, cities, and even kids can all take steps to stay safe and cool. Quiz time. Question 1. What is a heat wave, and how is it different from just one hot day? Answer. A heat wave is several very hot days in a row, not just one warm afternoon. It's much more extreme, and it can last for days. Question 2. Why do cities get hotter during heat waves compared to forests or countryside areas? Answered. Because cities are full of concrete roads and buildings that soak up heat and hold on to it. That's called the urban heat island effect. Question 3. What are some ways that cities and people are trying to stay safe during extreme heat? Answered. Cities are planting more trees, painting rooftops white, and opening cooling centers. People are drinking water, wearing hats, and finding shady places to stay cool. All right, now it's your turn to think. Classroom discussion. Question: what's one smart idea you would use to help your city stay cool during a heat wave? Share your idea with your class, or type it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss next week's adventure with the curious professors. Well, that brings us to the end of our very warm adventure. We've explored the science behind heat waves, how they affect cities, and what people are doing to stay cool. Whether you're sipping water, finding some shade, or dreaming of snow cones, remember, staying informed is one of the coolest things you can do.